Counting all my blessings. One thing in the air. If you know you blessed.
KFX Kicks.
I'm counting all my blessings. Counting all my blessings. I'm 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 counting all my blessings. Amen. Amen. Hey, I'm Poker Jones and I'm blessed. Told the game I'm next. Home kick with the bodybuilders, no Poker Jones, no flex. I'm out here counting my blessings, cause you don't know when the next. My brother just did 15 years, he coming home. Bless him. My best friend tried to do me in and I seen it coming, then stress it. But I cut it off before he could. That's what you call a blessing. Everybody ain't your friend. Finding out is a blessing. Some folks try to use you up, they think that you they blessing. Man, love people hard to find. Finding something is a blessing. They'll keep it real in your face, but behind your back they messing. When Black died, I took off my cross and I gave it to him the blessing. I told him, "Cool, no matter what, I'ma help the family, I bless them." I'm counting all my blessings. Counting all my blessings. I'm counting all my blessings. I'm counting all my blessings. Counting all my blessings. I'm counting all my blessings. I'm counting all my blessings. I'm counting all my blessings. If you don't think life is a blessing, that mean we ain't on the same team. You ain't seen the things that I seen. I turned nightmares into dreams. We got put out the house, whole family. I think God was just trying to test us, cause that made us strong and that brought us closer. That's what you call a blessing. I wasn't born with it, I had to get it. All the money was a blessing. Small money was a blessing, but that tall money, blessing. My sister about to have surgery. I told her don't even worry. She told me I ain't even stressing. I'm counting all my blessings. I salute the do what they do that ain't out here just flexing. Everybody ain't a hustler. Being one is a blessing. Dropped out of school in 11th grade. I told them I don't need no lesson. Before grandma died, she told me go on back. That's what you call a blessing. I'm counting all my blessings. Counting all my blessings. I'm 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 counting all my blessings. Hey, I'm helping you, you ain't helping me. You better recognize your blessing. And that's a true sentence with no period on it, no explanations or questions. And I put that on this gold watch, this gold ring in my necklace. I'm a money machine investing. I'm counting all my blessings. My uncle just started smoking dope, he ain't need rehab testing. Now he getting money like a Mexican. That's what you call a blessing. I hate a job is the hate. I don't deal with them, they trashy. We ain't built the same, they plastic. I'm counting all these blessings. You blessed, you got family. They got your bag like Hanley. They'll scrape the plate till you have it. No matter what they standing. They subtract the haters, they ain't worth nothing. About riches, I want treasures. I'm Poker Jones and I'm focused on just counting all my blessings. I'm counting all my blessings. Counting all my blessings. I'm 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 counting all my blessings. Amen. Amen.
Share the live feed, y'all. Share the live feed, please. We'll be getting started in a few.
I haven't seen the live feed on my phone.
We got our special guest, the Honorable Mrs. Is it Mrs.?
I am a Mrs.
Mrs. Judge Denise Brown. So we're going to start soon. Make sure you share the live feed, please. And you know you can also call in 502-384-6483 and talk to the lovely Judge Brown.
You broke my heart, cause I couldn't dance. You didn't even want me around. And now I'm back to let you know I can really shake them down. Do you love me? I can really move. Do you love me? I'm in the groove. Do you love me? Do you love me? Now that I can dance. Watch me now. Work it out, baby. Work. Well, you driving me crazy. Work. Just a little bit slow now. Work. I can mash potato. And do the twist. Now tell me, baby. Do you like it like this? Tell me. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me?
Remember that one?
Love me now that
Oh, we lost our beat.
I can dance.
I'm ready, DJ.
Watch me now. Shake it up, shake it.
Oh, Monique, we know everything about Greece. What you know about Greece? Boom, 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 work. All right, I'm ready, DJ.
Welcome to Conscious Fever with Karl Price on 97thebeatfm.com.
Good evening. Welcome to Conscious Fever. You're listening to 97thebeatfm.com. I am your host, Karl Price, on Conscious Fever tonight. My guest just stopping in tonight.
I was hoodwinked.
Yeah, turn your hang on. It is just stopping in is Judge Denise Brown from the Jefferson Circuit Court.
And I'm
Family
already
Division.
holding her for contempt of show.
Of
Oh,
contempt of
Lord.
show. 'Cause she
Yeah,
had
got the phone.
The phone don't get that feedback. We don't want that
Sorry.
feedback. But welcome to Conscious Fever on this Hurricane Florence week. Right? Judge Brown, Hurricane Florence in the Carolinas.
I know.
Yeah.
We need to be praying for.
We are. Please say a prayer for all of those in the Carolinas. Yeah, thank you, Erica. I like these shades too.
I thought
I'm
they
on-
were a bit much though, Erica, but they okay.
Well, because I didn't have him last week. I showed my real brown eyes, not contacts. My real brown eyes.
Well,
Those
let
were
me
my
see,
real.
let me see.
Yeah, those are my real brown eyes.
How about
You
let me see?
What?
Okay, yeah, they brown.
Yeah.
They brown. They brown.
Now, see, these are my bedroom eyes.
Oh Lord.
These are my cocaine eyes.
Oh Lord.
These are my paranoid eyes. No, anyway, but
That's
thank
why
you for.
that's why I had to make a disclaimer. Carl, don't say all that crazy stuff.
Erica said hello, Judge Brown.
Hello, Erica.
Erica Lawrence, and but in any case, do I need to tag you, DJ Ice? I just saw a tag come up on there. Do I need to tag you on this? It says tag. It says tag DJ Ice Price in this video.
No.
No?
I'm
Okay.
good. I
All
got
right.
it.
So in any case, welcome to the show tonight. As you can tell, I may be a little bit under the weather. That's why I used that music to try to get me hyped.
Okay.
You know, the Contours. I'm a big fan of the Contours. I love Contour. I love that song by the Contours more than I love Orange Popsicles.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, and I used to love Orange Popsicles. So I've loved the Contours for a long time. It just has like this, you know, Judge, it just has this racy beat. And it's just like anybody who can just sit still on the Contours, then they can sit on Tax.
Well, you know, I like that song too, but when you said the Contours, I thought he was talking about eyebrows, DJ Ice.
Oh.
I ain't know what he was talking about.
No.
Shot one at you.
I know. Then I heard the music, then I understood.
Okay, she wanted to hear some Drake.
Some
Yeah,
Drake. Oh,
yeah.
the Drake from the Con. No.
She's
no.
young. Yeah, I got you. I got you.
I don't. You know, Drake is Canadian.
That's okay.
I mean, I know it's okay. That's okay. Many people think I have something against foreigners. I don't. So, but I like Drake's music. I don't in my feelings. I ain't really digging that too much.
That's the one she liked.
Yeah, but
that's the only one I like because I don't
That's
really
that's
know
what she was saying. Remember when she was like Kiki?
Kiki. No,
I don't even know the name of the song.
No,
I'm like,
but
you know,
the
Kiki
one right
song.
before that with that mix, he mixes everything. What's the name of that song? You care for me.
Nice for what?
Yeah, nice for what? I like that. I like nice for what.
You like nice for what? She likes in my feelings.
So she said,
I may do both.
okay, Brandon Lawrence says, first look at the purse. Hey, man, look, we're Brandon. No. Okay, that's a dog whistle, Judge Brown. Now, listen, if you know anything about the Contours, they had a song that said, forget the shoes, forget the hair, forget the clothes. When you're looking at a woman, first look at the purse.
Oh, okay.
That was a big hit for the Contours. Ain't that right,
All right.
Attorney Brandon Lawrence? Yeah, so we can spend all night talking about the Contours, but we don't want to do that because our topic tonight is, do you know where the brains of your children are? And I picked this topic, Judge Brown, and I'm glad you were just passing by and just stopped by. And, actually, what she said was she was just going to be in the audience tonight and just watch the show live. And I said, no, why don't you just join me at the desk and we can just, we can talk about some things. So I have to be on my best behavior.
That's right.
So I have to be on my best behavior, whatever that is. But I think most people know that I am a good boy. I'm just one of those, just like the end of Wakanda and the Black Panther. I'd rather die in, what did he say? I'd rather die.
I wasn't with that part.
Okay, I was with I heard that part. I didn't pick that part up. He said, I didn't pick that part up. My son did. When we were watching the Black Panther, he said, I'd rather die in the sea with my ancestors
Yes, he did.
than live my life on my knees in bondage. So anyway, I don't know why I said that. I said that for a reason. But anyway, I am a little medicated tonight. Not on medical marijuana, because I don't do that. I am actually, I've been a little under the weather. I just had all kinds of issues. My cell phone just went dead for 2 weeks, so I'm sure there's a lot of people that were texting me and they were just like, well, he's not responding, and no, that's not what it was. It's just the cell phone went bad. It just died on me. I mean, it just croaked like I don't know what the nice thing to say. It just died like we hoped.
You need the new iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, I probably do. I mean, it just died like we hoped the Trump presidency just dropped dead. Right?
Getting political.
Right, I'm getting political. I'm not going to be political, but anyway.
But anyway, I see a lot of my friends out there. Hi. Hey, my line sister Vanessa Peoples and Marie Dukes. Those are sororals.
And where are they from?
Well, Vanessa's from Chicago and Marie is from
Hey, Chicago. Hello, New York. New York. New York. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Yeah, see, I told my doctor not to prescribe any medication for me.
Right.
Because I've got to say, but I'm going to look forward to taking those 2 pills I have to take tonight, 3 pills, because it's going to make me go to bed, make me sleep, wake up the next morning. I won't hear the dogs bark overnight. So if anybody plans to break in my house tonight is the night to do it, because only the alarm is going to go off and the police are going to show up, but I'm not waking up because I'm going to be. But anyway, let's Judge Brown, DJ Ice, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
I'm okay. I understand that you were on location shortly before this show at Virtue on Oak Street.
Soul Food Conversations podcast. They had they streamed live from Virtue, and they had a guy that's gonna be running for mayor, and also they had a lot of promoters from the city as their guests. They having like a 502 shutdown where they having all different types of events at different parties. All the promoters merged, and they all having like a big party this whole weekend at different spots. They having like a day party at one venue, and then they having like an after party, and it starts Saturday. It's more of a unity of the city.
Okay, so
really.
this guy is running for mayor. Was it Fisher?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, now Judge Brown. Now that's just ridiculous because we don't know who his name. And you forgot his name. Oh my God!
I did.
Okay. Well, whoever you are out there running for mayor against Mayor Fisher and Leet, I think is her name, the Republican challenger. Kudos to your campaign because nobody knows who the hell you are, and that is sad because we should be able to say, oh, that was what you call his party, because he's been out campaigning and doing everything. We can't do that.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about it. I know I'm nonpartisan.
I know you're nonpartisan, and so we got a concrete wall here when we talk about politics. But I'm just saying that I think it's whatever it was. You were there, and it was for this candidate. So good luck in November. This is almost October, and we don't know who you are. I guess we'll get to the polls and look at the name and say, oh, that's somebody's name. So I hope your name is like, something popular like Rick Pitino or John Calipari or Abraham Lincoln. And people say, oh, I know him. I know that name, or John Doe, just make your name John Doe. And then people just say, I vote for you because right now we don't know who the hell you are. So you're probably not going to get our vote, even though I would love to vote for you against these other two candidates, to be quite honest with you. But anyway, we're going to get into that. We've got an interesting show tonight, DJ Ice. We are going to, first of all, we're going to send our prayers out once again to the two Carolinas, North Carolina and South Carolinas. And I guess we should also pray for the dumbasses that decided to stay around and weather the storm. I guess. I mean, I don't. They said that this is one of the worst hurricanes in decades. Actually, I think they said this century. And even though it is downgraded down, and probably when it gets all the way in onto land, it's probably going to be a Category 1. But Category 1 is still strong.
It is. So let's just pray for everybody.
Well, we're going to pray for everybody, even you people who just stuck around. Listen, life is way too short. And a piece of property, guess what? When you go, you can't take it with you. So.
Oh, there's another line, sister.
So you should.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hey, Cynthia. How you doing, Cynthia Pullen Roberson? Well, look at you, Judge Brown. You're just making my viewership.
She's popular.
Yeah, I mean my viewership is going up for
yes,
today.
It is.
Well, at least your lion sisters know a handsome guy.
Oh, there's Kia Moore. Hey, Kia.
Oh, hey, Kia. How you doing?
Call in. Tell them call in.
This handsome.
Call in. Y'all, they not calling in for the handsome guy.
Handsome lawyer.
Call in, Kia. What's
in
the number?
Louisville.
502 384-6483.
Yeah, 502-384-6483. You can call in and talk to us. Monique said you can say that again. You can say what again, Monique? That I'm handsome? I am.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not going to say it. Anyway, thank you all for joining in from all across the country. And again, sincerely, we want to pray for all of those in Carolina because I can just not imagine.
Hi, Sharon.
There's another one? Yeah, hi, Sharon.
Come on.
Yeah.
We're going to boost your viewership by quite a bit.
Look at Troy Lawrence from the Bay Area out in California. Welcome, my friend. Yes, Judge Brown is the bomb. Okay. Well, okay, Kia, this is my show now. All right. What's up, KP? What's up, Bubby Shaw? How you doing, my friend, up in Connecticut? Wow, we got it all across the country tonight.
Well, we might as well just pull on out the Greek.
Well,
all deltas. Call all deltas.
You call all deltas. Okay, I'm gonna call all iotas.
All deltas to the floor.
Because I'm telling you, I've seen at least 4 iotas there now. There's another one that says "Hello, Judge Sharon Clayton."
Yes. Hey, Sharon.
Yeah, Fred Drake. Hi, I'm from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Hello, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Well, welcome and thanks for joining us. But I think we've got an interesting topic tonight. I want to thank you, Judge Brown, for stopping by. I know you stopped by just to be in the audience, but you stopped by, but you came on. This picture on this particular camera, which is our editing camera, looks so good, but it ain't recording.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God, we're about to upgrade this equipment, and we're about to get. I'm gonna be able to come in here one day with no hair. And it's going to look like I got hair. with all the editing and the new technology that this new equipment is going to have. But anyway, hey, Auntie.
Yeah, hey, Tani. How you doing? She's in the North Carolina.
In North Carolina.
We're praying for you.
Yes.
Down there in North Carolina.
In Greensboro.
Hope everything is going
yes, our prayers for you guys down there. I can only imagine. They're talking about the storm surges. Karl Price is the great attorney. Thank you, Ms. Thompson. I think I am. I think God's the greatest attorney, but I do okay under his leadership.
Is down there at the Outer Banks.
Oh, really? What is she doing down there?
Well, that's where she lives now. When she retired.
Well, why didn't she come back
today? So she's doing okay.
Is she weathering the storm?
Yes, she's weathering the storm.
Judge.
I mean, some people couldn't leave.
Judge.
I'm not saying that's her. Quit judging.
They had a number for them to call. If you couldn't.
They okay. Look, we just gonna pray. That's what we gonna do.
Well, Judge Sherlock is
well.
I mean, she's rich, so she probably got places to go.
Get out of folks' business.
Look,
get out of folks' business. Now get back to the show.
I talked to her, so she was. But anyway,
I had to keep him together.
I know. That's why you need to come all the time. Good evening, Fred. 6 days until Founders Day. That's right. September 19th, 1963. September 19th, 2018 would be 55 years of the great men of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. But anyway, we want to keep going, and we're not gonna have time to talk about our topic. So anyway, y'all know we are. But listen, but the topic tonight is: do you know where the brains of your children are? You know, we wanted to say, do you know where your children are? But we inserted, do you know where the brains of your children are? And I'm going to set this up real quick, Judge Brown, so they'll know what we're talking about. If you want to call in, you're welcome to 502-384-6483. But what we're talking about is this. Imagine yourself being in Las Vegas. And for those of you who have never been to Las Vegas, imagine yourself going into, remember the old Ryan's restaurant?
Yes.
Ryan's Buffet, Golden Corral, and all these restaurants that have these buffets. But I use Vegas because in the Vegas restaurants, you can walk into a Vegas restaurant. Now, you're going to pay $40 or $50 and not eat $40 or $50 worth of meal. But the selections that they have, they're going to have a steak section. Mm-hmm. They're going to have a ham section. Mm-hmm. They're going to have a pork section, a beef section, a seafood section, a warm seafood section, a cold seafood section, vegetables, Italian section, pasta, Japanese, Chinese section, all of this. And I see, if you can just think about that buffet, and then they're going to have a sweets section where all the desserts, all the pies, the Italian cream cake, the chocolate cake, 3 layers, 4 layers of red velvet cake, and vanilla cake, coconut cream cake, and apple pie, peach pie, pecan pie, all of this stuff. When you go in Vegas, they have and you have all of these options. Imagine that. Well, when you imagine that, think about your child having his or her cell phone. His or her cell phone. And think about the cell phone that's been the buffet. So this child can go to any station he wants to on this phone, right? And get whatever he wants, and get it infinitum, right? Judge Brown, get it in extreme. So if all he wants is sweets, then what he'll do is he'll just go to the sweet section of the buffet. But if you look at the internet as a buffet, that's what our children do. So do you really know where the brains of your children are? Often we come across in the other media, which we call the fake media, but it comes across, that a child has shot up a school. And then they go run down the parents and say, well, what do you have to say? They say, well, my child's not like that. Well, apparently he is. Right, because he just shot and killed a lot of people in this school. Just like that happened here in Kentucky, in Florida, in Texas, and we can go on and on, in Connecticut, et cetera, et cetera. But the question is, where do they get this information from? Where do they get this information? They get it from the internet. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Do you know where the mind, the mind is a terrible thing to waste, if you agree with that. Do you know where the brains of your children are? Because having unlimited access to the internet, they can go wherever the hell they want, Judge Brown.
Right, that's true.
And we have no idea. I mean, they can be, we can be walking with them in a park, on family day. and they can be somewhere else.
True.
You know, I mean, it's just like, and you can tune out on this if you want, and because I don't want Ron A to, kick my butt, but even the porn sites are like a buffet on the internet. I mean, it's just like you get the weird, you get the not so weird, you get the kinky, you get the not so kinky, and then you get like a multitude layers of kinkiness. But that's the internet. So my whole point in saying all that is that the internet is really like a buffet. It's just like walking into a Vegas restaurant, and you walk in there and basically you don't even have to have a full course meal. You can just go right to the dessert bar and eat sweets all you want. Right. And that's what our kids are doing on these cell phones and on the internet and on these devices, because we're not watching them. I think when the internet was created, Judge Brown, we, America, did very, very little, if anything, to control the access. And that's part of the problem. Like when you go to China, nope, can't get it. I mean, you can get it if you buy the right apparatus while you're in China. Mm-hmm. But, the Chinese doesn't have absolute access to the internet like we do.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what goes on in China.
Yeah.
But I know that it is a much larger job for parents to control the internet access that their children have. It's just so different from when, we grew up and our parents grew up. It was easier to limit what your child had.
Right, because you could only check out they had a limit of how many books we could check out in the library.
Yeah,
right?
They
so you go to the library, you come home with a handful of books. You only get 10, and you got to bring them back. So, but the internet is different from that, because I tell my son all the time, well, why are you asking me these questions? If you're asking me any questions about what I did when I was 7 years old, something I can factually talk to you about, the best answer is going to be out there on the internet. I mean, of course, if you're not looking for a French model. If you're looking for a French model, that's going to be a whole different story, right? Because who knows what you'll find on there.
So, see, Kia is responding. She says she has strict restrictions on her daughter.
Well, tell us about that.
So, I mean, there are definitely apps that you can get that will work on the phones, where you can shut that down at a certain time and bring it back up. So, I mean, it takes a lot more effort. So it's just a matter of, is the parent going to monitor the child in such a fashion as to make sure that you don't have access, because you just got to start early. I mean, if you've let your child have free reign on the internet for 10 years, and then you're going to try to rein it in at age 15, you're probably going to have a harder job at doing it. So I think not only the internet, but TVs, video games, all of those things, parents have to just be a little bit more diligent.
Right, hold on.
About how they manage.
Hold on, Judge Brown. We just got an emergency alert. DJ Ice, somebody from the Ustream camera is telling me that I am not all the way in the camera, so we may need to move the camera over some.
Oh, that was an emergency.
That's an emergency.
Oh, Lord.
Because tonight, that's going to be the camera that we're going to be editing from. Right. So, so that you got to get me in.
Well, I see you in there, Karl.
Yeah, you can see us, but a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, she's the same. Okay.
So anyway, Kia is telling us the name of that app is called Family Link.
Family Link. Did you all hear that?
Family Link.
And it's an app everybody can get according to
Kia Moore.
Yeah. And according to Kia Moore. And LaTanya Wade says, yes, it has to start early.
Oh yeah, that's my niece. She know.
Well, what does she mean when she said it has to start early?
Well, you have to start early. Like when you first give your children access to the internet, then you already have to have the restrictions in place, and then you also have to build in the discipline that you want for your children, even early on in terms of video games and TV time.
Okay.
So I mean that starts early. You can't start that after they in the 5th grade.
Right.
You need to start it early. So they're accustomed to that. So they understand that it's...
DJ Ice, I think I'm still out. You see that? I think I'm still out. Can you see that right there?
I see you. You look like you in.
Oh, is it that one? Oh, that's what it is. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, because when I got fans out there and they want to see me, they want to see me. So, I want to make sure that
DJ Ice,
I don't disappoint.
How do you do it?
There we go. I don't make sure I don't disappoint. But you were saying You were saying, Judge Brown.
Monique says she can see you very well.
Yeah, I know Monique can see me very well. I
All
appreciate
right.
that, Monique. I can see you very well too. I got these X-ray visions, so I can see what you're doing. You may think it's private, but it ain't private.
He don't see nothing.
All this technology today.
He ain't seeing nothing.
Watch me tell her what color she's wearing.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me tell her what color she's wearing.
If you know.
Beige.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. She'll tell me if I'm right. But
Don't
anyway.
answer, Monique. Okay, so you got to start early, and it's a parental responsibility that you just have to be serious about, because it takes a lot, because there's so many ways for children to access that info. Even if you don't allow it to happen at home, what if they go to their friend's house and those parents don't have any restrictions, on what the children have access
Right,
to?
and that's my point. That's my point.
You got to be diligent.
That's my point. It's like teaching. It's like co-parenting, right? And one parent is teaching one way, but then when the kids go to the other parent's house, those standards are completely dropped or non-existent. So I mean, it's sort of the same thing. I think it's tough. I think it's tough, and here's why. Here's what I think.
Oh, she said you were wrong. She ain't got no beige shirt on.
Thank you. Brown is light. I mean, beige is light brown.
Oh,
Okay,
Lord.
I'm just telling you.
She didn't say it was light. Did she say
I know. And beige is just a faded white, so it could be any one of three of those.
Lord.
Don't count me. Don't count me out. But anyway, but here's the thing. Here's where I think. Here's where I think the divide is. Right. I think that if you teach your kids the right moral codes, then they will know the difference. Don't you agree with that? In other words, if there are certain things, for instance, and I'll say this about myself personally, when I was doing some modeling out in Los Angeles, there's Judge Holton, he's calling. I think we should let Judge Holton in on this.
Yes.
I'm going to let
hear
Judge
from
Holton in.
Holton.
Hello.
Hey, Judge Holton.
Hi, Judge Holton. How you doing?
Mr. Price, Judge Brown, how are you all tonight?
We okay. Why didn't you call in? Why you feel like you special that you're going to call my cell phone and not the radio station, Judge?
Brother,
He called the bad line.
I had a bowl of soup, and I was going to go to my wife's and listen to, you said, who is this on the radio here, David? And I said, listen, I said, it sounds like my friend KP, Karl Price.
Yes, your black friend Karl Price. Yes, sir. He is on the air. How you doing, Judge Holton?
The blind, the crippled, and the crazy, and you're the crazy, Mr. Price.
There you go.
I know, but you know what? And I spent some time with the cripple yesterday too, Judge. I don't know if the audience doesn't know what we're talking about. I'm telling you what we're talking about. The three of us used to be prosecutors: Judge Holton, Karl Price, and Bob Webb. And Judge Holton is legally visually impaired, of course. Everybody, when I was a prosecutor, everybody thought I was crazy. And Bob Webb always walked with a limp. So they called us the blind, crippled, and crazy. They broke his foot every other week. Yeah, that's right. But I was talking to him yesterday. And you know what he did? I'm going to tell you what he said to me. Within 5 minutes, he used the F-bomb about 4 different times.
You learned it from me, Mr. Price.
I'm a Christian man. But
Mr. Price, I know I thought the F word was freedom. I didn't know what you're talking about, okay?
That's right.
he thought the what?
See,
The
the
what?
F word mean freedom. Thank you, Judge Holton. Thank you. Freedom.
From tyranny and freedom from Donald Trump, right?
Oh, well, I can't say that.
Oh, well.
He's retired. He's retired. He can say what he wants to say.
You're bound by the judicial ethics,
I
not
am.
by politics, Judge Brown, like
That's-
I used to be. But guess what? Now I have
You free. Now you free.
And I can preach the truth now, Judge Brown. And you have to sit there quietly and be a great jurist as you are. But I tell you what, my friends, this is a great time in America. These midterms are going to turn this country around. And I'm having a great time practicing law, Mr. Price and Judge Brown. I've been retired. At the end of this month, it'll be 12 months since I stepped down from the bench after 10 years of service to this community. And I don't know anyway, I'm just having a great time listening to you. And I thought, is this live or is this streaming or what's going on? And Mr. Price answered the phone. Here I am on the radio.
There
So I'm
you
looking
are.
I'm looking for my performance contract. I mean, definitely upgrade your show, Judge
See?
Brown and Mr. Price.
See?
Well, you have.
Both upgraded the show tonight.
You really have, and I'm glad you guys did because I'm a little bit under the weather. But Judge, you know we miss you on the bench, right? We miss you dearly on the bench. Yes.
It's very nice for you to say that, Carl. Thank you very much. I tried so hard to be a good judge and to do the right thing every time I could.
Yeah.
You absolutely were.
I missed you as a prosecuting partner too. Man, we used to have some fun. Boy, did we used to have some fun.
Do you remember the 2 to 4 years that I was in arraignment court every morning and you were the prosecutor?
Yeah, most of it was on TV.
Oh, Lord.
I had to call you down. That could have been a good reality show right there.
Oh,
You know that,
trust me, let me tell you, when we upgrade, we're getting all of that footage from the arraignment court. It's going to be edited, and it's going to be a TV show. So we may be rich after all.
I mean, I thought you were, like, very wealthy, Mr. Price. Is that not true?
He means richer, more wealthy.
Listen.
That's what he means.
Listen, until I can get away with not disclosing my tax returns like Donald Trump, then I'm not rich. And yes, I can't wait until the midterms. I hope he gets slaughtered, and I hope he gets impeached. I'm sorry to my Republican fans out there. I'm just sorry to you guys, but this is just a travesty. This is just a travesty.
I mean, Trump and Governor Bevin, neither one will disclose their taxes. What are they afraid of, Mr. Price? What are they afraid of?
Oh, well, there's this little thing called shelters in tax returns. And what is called, Judge, it is actually rhetorically referred to as government welfare. So these are the people who complain about, individuals receiving welfares and calling people out as welfare queens, but they're getting more benefits from the government than you would ever imagine.
I gotta plug my phone.
That's what they are.
I believe all that. I'm out here in the general public now. I'm no longer tied to that bench 6 or 8 hours a day, and I'm no longer in that black robe, so I can say what I think. And what's interesting to me, Mr. Price, is that out here in the public, people complain about, the Obama health care plan. But guess what, man? When their parents need it or their kids need it, they're holding on to their all of their conservative ideas. But by God, they want to take advantage of every Medicaid advantage they can and not dip into their own pockets to care for their own family. And that just makes me want to vomit when I hear all that stuff.
Yeah, it's really interesting, but I can't wait until the midterms are here. I mean, we're less than 60 days, right? Less than 60 days away.
Now, I live out here in the 29th district of the legislative situation here in Jefferson County, and there's a young man named Ronell Brown running for state representative out here. And I want to encourage all of my friends to join me in supporting Ronell Brown for state representative. We need to take the House back in Frankfort, back to the Democratic side, to return decency to the legislature and stop stripping away the labor union rights and responsibilities.
Somebody just gave you a big like, Judge, on the broadcast.
We also need to make sure that the legislature can take back the people's right to sue and not be limited by these panels of doctors who are going to review the malpractice cases. When sometimes you have bad lawyers, you have bad doctors, and when the doctors who malpractice, they need to be able to be sued like everybody else. I promise you that, Mr. Price. If you're not malpractice case, you're going to sue the hell out of us.
Yeah, they're going to sue the hell out of us. I agree.
They're going to we should be able to sue doctors if they mess up. These Republicans in the state house are so out of whack with the values of Kentuckians that we got to take the House back and vote for Ronell Brown in the 29th district, and we're going to do what we can to make sure that he and the rest of these we take the House back in November.
Absolutely. Well, we definitely appreciate you calling in, Judge Holton. I got to call you Judge because once you reach that level, you're always there. So we miss you on the bench. Come on, come on back one day. Don't they visit judges? Don't they have visiting judges again like they used to years ago?
Yeah, they do have the retired judges.
Yeah, the retired judges panel come back. And are you on that, Judge?
Yeah, I could be, but I'm not doing that. I'm practicing law. I don't want to limit my law practice. I'm having too much fun and got too much business, Judge Brown. To go back to the behind the bench, I'm able to do things with my family now I wasn't able to do before, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So
yeah, that's great.
You know what the great thing is about practicing law is you have somebody walk in your office who needs a lawyer, okay, and they have a problem, and they sit down with you and they talk to you, and you can say, I can help you with this problem, and you send them away. And they feel better than they did when they walked in, and for the whole time when the whole thing's over, it's like their problem isn't nearly as bad as they thought it was, and we can get them to these problems. It's like the monster in the dark. There's no monsters in the closet, but when everything's dark, they worry about everything. So the one thing I miss about being a judge was the matter of client trust. And man, when you got a client who puts their life, his or her life in your hands, and to be able to take that hand and lead them down the lane to a better day, that's a beautiful thing to have, Mr. Price, is that attorney-client relationship.
It is. I think I heard Abraham Lincoln say that many, many years ago. I mean, not live, but you know, I read, you know, Lincoln say that. But anyway, but that was a very that was a very profound statement. But no, but that is so true. You are so right, and that's why I tell you, I miss the people that I used to work around as prosecuting, but I don't miss the role of prosecuting any longer.
You know what? Maybe someday there'll be a new county attorney, Mr. Price, and that we can lead this county into better days. And I don't know who that county attorney might be, but if I had a mirror, perhaps we could see him. Okay, so that. Yeah,
let's keep our fingers crossed that it'd be sooner than later. But anyway, but that's me. But anyway, let me ask you something. It's just a personal question. Well, two personal questions. One is, how's your son doing? I know the last time we talked, he was in grad school in Missouri studying journalism.
Right. I have two sons. Brooks is 24. He's in Nashville now working for the USA Today newspaper. He graduated from Center College 2 years ago and from the University of Missouri this year with a master's in journalism. He's editing for the USA Today in Nashville. My younger son is at JCC here in town. His name is Max, and he's doing great. I have a 9-year-old little girl who's standing right now giving me marching orders saying, tell him to vote for Ronnie O'Brien, right, Calvin? So we are, but my boys are doing well. How's your daughter doing who was was she at Syracuse or at Connecticut?
Yeah, she was at UConn, and she graduated UConn the same time your son graduated from Center, and she is in the middle of her third year of veterinarian school at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg.
Well, good for her. Well, then she can take care of my guide dog then when she graduates in the spring, right?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Is you still got a black dog?
Yes.
I got Rock. Rock is a 6-year-old black lab, and he's a big old healthy dog, isn't he, Judge Brown? You've seen him, haven't you?
Yes, I've seen Rock.
I was Rock and I were in Judge Brown's courtroom on Monday of this week.
Yes, true.
And we received some very fair treatment. And when Rock left, he said, "I want to stay with Judge Brown." I said, "No, you got to go because you got to drive me home, Rock." So he would drive me home that day.
Yeah, Rock. You know, sometimes you know how I feel about your dogs, right, man? Sometimes
you remember Simon and then Brennan and then Buddy.
I do. I remember all of them.
He's my fourth working dog, and they've all been fine canines. Canines. They've all been black, and I loved all three of them. So.
Yeah, they were all black, and they all took a liking to me. Wonder why? Maybe they felt like we were all from the same hood. But anyway.
Oh, Lord.
But anyway, that for everybody out there, that's an inside joke between Judge Holden and I. But anyway, Judge Holden, thank you so much for calling in, even though you.
Well, I'm glad to talk to you. How long are you on? I'll listen for you again sometime, Judge Brown and Mr. Price.
Well, actually, this is Karl's show, and he comes on every Thursday.
Every Thursday night at 9 p.m.
I was just passing through, Judge Holden. Passing through, and he hoodwinked me.
Well, my wife found you on the telephone, Mr. Price. I have a question. Mr. Price, why are you on my wife's telephone? So I want to know.
Why? I want to know why.
You know,
Mr. Price?
Let me tell you something, Judge Holton. for years, the one thing I've never been able to figure out is why is it that I had a huge following of white women with blonde hair?
Oh, Lord.
I don't know.
I thought you were going to say, why was it that a blind man always had a pretty woman next to him? I thought you were going to say, right?
No. I don't know. I think it's because they love this show in the Hall of Justice. They love this show in the Hall of Justice, and I don't know why, but I
got back a little bit of football with you now, Mr. Price. Last Saturday, my Wildcats had a big victory over Florida, right?
Oh, they did.
They did.
They did.
Yes.
And I understand there was somebody at the Roosters on Bardstown Road at the end of the first half, after the quarterback for UK had thrown an interception and fumbled the ball, who said, "We need a new quarterback. We need a new quarterback." And people say, I just want you to know, I'm not going to take responsibility for those comments. Someone said, "Was it somebody that looked like you?" I said, "I don't know about that, but whoever it was with my wife." Okay, so that's all I got to say.
Well, let me assure you that I wasn't at Roosters, that's for sure. But let me just tell you about the game. I wasn't feeling too well on game night. So, but I would tell you that I learned about that, and I was just ecstatic. That was after what, 17, 18 years? 31 years.
31 years, long time.
31 years that Florida was just spanking that ASS, and now all of a sudden Kentucky, maybe Stupid has got it together now. I mean, Stoops.
Before last Saturday, last time that Kentucky beat Florida in football, I was in law school, UK. That's how long it's been, okay?
Yeah.
I'm 56 years old. Now, I get you a T-shirt, Mr. Price, that says, "Nobody beats Kentucky 32 times," okay? I'm going to get you one of those shirts, all right?
Well, you know what, Judge? If you give me a shirt like that,
Funny.
I'll wear it. Now, I won't tell you where. I won't tell you.
On the back it says, "Vote for Ronell Brown," okay?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Well, absolutely. Yeah. Well, if it's gonna say "Vote for Ronell Brown," I don't care what it says on the front. It can demean me on the front, which that shirt would. But I would definitely vote. I mean, no. But I just thought that was a wonderful victory for the University of Kentucky. I'm not.
I know you're not.
All the time that you were on the bench, I was a big U of L fan, but I'm getting away from University of Louisville because of I don't like what they did to Patino. I don't like none of that stuff out there. And Judge, I had a show about two professors out there that are getting double standards and shouldn't be out there. So anyway, but that's a discussion for another day.
Another show.
Absolutely.
So where can I find your show on the radio?
Online
at 97.
Online, okay.
Yeah, online, 97thebeatfm.com.
I can't wait to listen to it next Thursday, and sometime invite me to the studio. We'll tell some good law stories, okay, Mr. Price?
Absolutely, Judge. Well, look, thank you so much for calling in, and come join us down here as a guest one night on the show. Absolutely, Thursday night.
Where's the studio? You can tell me later, okay? It's okay. Somebody might get after you. You better not tell you. You put too many guys in jail. Don't tell them where you are, okay?
Yeah. Hey, Judge. Yeah, I don't want the outside of this building be like the Partridge Family is leaving the building. Remember when the Partridge Family used to leave and all these girls would be outside the bus? I don't want that to happen. But anyway.
But I tell you what, between you and I, we made some friends and we made some people that were not friendly to us, but we did what we thought was right every time, right, Mr. Price?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Brown, I got to tell you, Mr. Judge Brown, when I was in arraignment court all the time, Mr. Price would object to my bonds a whole lot of the time. And I just started saying, and before you say, Mr. Price, this is over the county's objection. I just beat him to the punch. I knew he wasn't going to object to my bond. He was doing his job, and I was doing mine, I thought was right.
That's right.
Well, hello to all my friends at the Hall of Justice and then all over the community. And we'll look forward to talking to you all soon, okay?
All right. Thanks for calling in, Judge. Have a wonderful night, and tell your wife I said hello.
Bye-bye.
Mr. Price.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, it's interesting. So you never know what's going to happen on Conscious Fever.
Never know.
You never know who's going to show up.
You stop?
No, I was just reading a text that I had gotten. Yeah, who's going to show up? Yeah, who's going to show up on the show, But you all can call in, unlike Judge Holton. Don't call my cell phone, but see, that's when you have personal friends and they call your cell phone, but your personal cell phone. Because I just got that number back. That number's been dead for like 3 weeks.
I noticed.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to really upset. But anyway, let's get back to our topic before we run out of time. I'm sorry, I got stuff going on. My doctor gave me that medication, and I've got the cough. You're gonna have to change the phone. What's that?
He made me have to sit closer to him, and I'm like,
well, you have to because I want them to see you. Yeah, I mean, I got some anyway, but once I get home and take those pills, I'm gonna be okay. But anyway, but I think what I was saying before that call came in was that sometimes it's a moral code that would stop these kids from going to certain places on the internet. In other words, when they get to the buffet, instead of going to the sweet section all the time, maybe they would go to get vegetables and different things like that. But
sometimes, but you didn't always do everything.
No, I didn't always do. I didn't. I absolutely did not, Judge. But
But not leave it to the moral code.
No. But I'm just telling you. But we had to go to the library, so we were restricted. We couldn't just check out an adult book in the library, right? Well, there were restrictions. There are no restrictions on the internet for these kids. So,
but you have to be parenting your child. If you're parenting your child, then you're going to know what they're coming in contact with. And parenting your child also means that you know who their friends are and you know their parents. So you know when you can let your child go and stay at somebody's house. You can't let them go and stay with everybody in the neighborhood, because everybody in the neighborhood may not have the same boundaries that you have at your home. So it's important to do that.
Right, absolutely. Well, two things. One, I think that if you teach your child a moral code, number one, and I think the best moral codes are the codes that you get in church. I know some may disagree with me, but I believe that, even though when you take your kids to church, they're there and they don't really care about what's going on. They don't care about what's going on and what's going on with their surroundings. But after all of those years, there's a buildup of this knowledge of what was going on in church. And of course, they're sitting there in church watching church choirs and watching us and listening to a sermon, as opposed to being out on the street, maybe stealing or doing something that they shouldn't be doing, even if it's not stealing. That's number one. Number two, here's one of the things that I did with my son, because I never had an issue with my daughter. One of the things that I did
that's my homie Slice from Welch, West Virginia.
From Welch, West Virginia.
Yes.
Welcome again. Is that my phone or somebody else's phone?
You need to turn your phone off.
Okay. But in any case, but here's the other thing that I did with my son, Judge Brown.
Okay.
What I did was I told my son, because he knew I was a prosecutor all those years, because I used to take him to night court when he was like 5 years old. And I tell my son, who is now 17, is going to be 18 in December, when I got him his phone, I told him, I said, listen, I said, I am going. Yeah, my daughter said that's right. How you doing, Tierra? I'm glad the hurricane didn't make it up to Virginia. We were just talking about you, by the way, me and Judge Holden. But anyway,
hi, Priscilla.
But I told my son, I said, listen, I'm going to teach you about the Fourth Amendment. Because if I don't tell you about the Fourth Amendment and search and seizure, you're not going to have any idea what I'm about to tell you about the phone. So I told him, I said, you don't have a right to keep this from me and what's in there for me. Anytime I want to go through it, I don't need a search warrant.
Oh, you were speaking to him as a parent.
I was speaking to him as a parent.
Okay, I hear you.
Then I'm going to be able to go in there and get it. And I think that allowed him to exercise some type of restraint. It says, any day now, Dad's going to ask for my cell phone, and he's just going to spend 30 minutes going through reading all my texts and different things like that. And I did that one time, and I learned some people he was communicating with, and I was just like, look, I don't want you communicating with these people. Why are you doing this? And we had the discussion and never had that issue again. But so that has worked for me. Mm-hmm. That has worked for me. Look, kids are going to be kids. Boys will be boys, girls will be girls, and so. But I think that when we talk about the topic on this show, when we talk about, do you know where the minds of your kids are? sometimes we can understand why when the news media goes to these parents after a child has shot up a school or something, the parents say, listen, we never saw this coming, because the federal authorities would investigate, was there a conspirator, was there an accessory to this crime, and they realized that, no, this kid was just allowed to go off in his or her own little corner and learn about terrorism or learn about violence, and it's nothing that they ever got at home. I always remember the parents in court when I was a prosecutor, and their 18-year-old was charged with robbery, and they would say, he was not brought up like this. We don't know where he's gotten this from. We take him to church every Sunday. And, I never told them about the cell phone at that time, but I thought to myself, kids have their own little pockets that they can go to get what they want. Don't you agree with that?
They do. I just think it all starts with the relationship that you have with your child. You have to have a solid relationship so that they're going to come to you, even when they're going to kind of do things that we know all kids do. You want them to have some boundary.
Yes, Pam, this is Reese you're listening to, right? That's Reese's mom.
Hey, Pam.
She's like, yeah, this is Reese, yeah. But Reese is okay now. Reese is okay. Reese is okay because Reese is driving, and he has a zero tolerance. So, he has to do everything right. If he can't...
So now your daughter on there saying she was a good child,
and she said I said she was a good child, and she was. I mean, listen, I don't care if this sounds controversial, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it like it is. Look, girls have always been far ahead of the boys. I don't know what it is, DJ Ice, that takes boys forever to catch up. But I'm telling you, man, I'm just saying.
Okay.
I had a girl and a boy, and I'm telling you, while I love my son to death, but it's just, if this was a foot race and they both left the blocks at the same time, by the time they get halfway around the track, he's about 100 yards behind her. That's all the ways. I mean, and that's just not Reese and Tiara. That's just with every boy and every girl, and every parent that has a boy and girl.
I can't say that. I have two girls, and I have my husband has a son, and we helped raise him, and I can't say that he was behind. I can't say that. So maybe it was just your child.
No, Reese said I was a great child. Reese, you're still a child until December, okay? So don't count your chickens before they hatch. They hatch on December 12th, 2018. But anyway.
And he'll be 18?
He'll be 18. Can you believe that?
Oh, my goodness. Reese.
He's taller than I am. Got muscles and stuff, and driving a white Mercedes to school. And,
Lord, have mercy.
But anyway. But anyway, but I think that sometimes we have to, if we keep in mind this idea that the internet offers a buffet style lifestyle to children,
right.
Then I think we can, maintain, and we can get a better understanding of how we manage our children today as opposed to the way our parents managed us in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s.
Right.
Don't you agree?
I agree, and I think, you got to have those apps. You got to have a tight rein on that buffet so that they can't get to it when you're not watching.
So they can't just go to the dessert section.
Right.
They got to go to the vegetables, got to get some meat.
You got to get that app. Was it Family Talk? Is that what it was?
It was,
the name of it?
I don't know. Tell us that app name again. Now I've got to take this call because this is, hello? Uh-oh. Hello?
Daddy?
Yes, T.
Oh,
You're live on the air.
The live video is a little behind.
It's always a delay when you stream
it. Yeah, there's always a delay when you're.
Delay.
Yeah, DJ Ice said he taught you better than that. There's always a delay when you're live streaming.
Well, I would like to call in and make a comment. This is Tiara Price from Blacksburg, Virginia.
Hi, Tiara.
We're really Louisville, Kentucky, but you live in Blacksburg. Yeah, why didn't you call the 502-384-6483
number? Well, because
everybody
sees that you get all close to the phone when they call you on your cell phone. So everybody wants to be close.
Just to be close. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, T.
Don't say.
Well, my comment, I'm not a parent, obviously, but I've been a lifelong learner, and I think that people learn better when they get to interact. And so I think that a parenting style that I would enjoy is one where I am given tools and resources on how to educate myself, and then allowed to make decisions in a controlled environment. And then after a decision is made, there can be a discussion about the decision, and we can talk about, opinions on either side, and that is a better way to equip, kids that are being raised so that they can make decisions for the future and not be so lost when they get into the world and they're no longer told exactly what to do.
Right.
Okay.
Good point, Tiara.
It's a good point. Yeah, I taught you well.
You raised her right.
That's great. I know. I'm
her
gonna
and
take,
her mom. Y'all raised her right.
Take credit for that.
And
okay.
her mom. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you said and her mom.
Yeah, I had to say that.
Yeah. I mean, Gwen did a wonderful job. We both did a wonderful job. But how's Blacksburg? I mean, is the border going to come up there at all?
I mean, I don't think so, but I'm not sure. We're not supposed to get it until Sunday. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just put it off until Sunday. Okay.
So the name of that app.
If I do evacuate, I'm going to Orlando. I'm not going to go to Kentucky.
She's going to Orlando.
Oh.
If she evacuates, she going.
Well, I'm coming down to Orlando too. Hell, I need a break. Well, anyway, we are about to end this show. We're going to give this family link. But Tiara, I'm going to call you once I get off of here. I got to call you and Mama back, because she called me while I was on there. But anyway, love you. I'm going to call you in a few minutes, okay?
All right, love you.
Bye. So tell us the link. Tell us the link for the app.
Family Link.
And this
Family Link is the name of the app.
Family Link, FAMILYLINK, and that's the app, and that's Android and iOS, right?
I'm sure it is.
Sure it is.
Well, allow you to
Kia
monitor
would tell us that.
Your kids are on the internet, and then you can kind of set times for when they can be on and when they can't, and it lets you know what they're doing.
Oh, okay. So. Great. Well, some last parting words, Judge Brown.
Have a relationship with your children.
Okay, yeah. Keep them away from that buffet.
Don't just leave them at the buffet, because people do that too. Take their children up into the buffet and
they go to the bar.
Run wild.
And they go to the bar.
Well, I ain't saying they go to the bar.
They go to the bar.
They in the same place, but they're not watching their kids.
If anybody who's qualified to talk to us about how parents interact with their kids and the better ways to do that is you, of course, because as a family court judge, there's, you get to see a lot.
Well, I'm going to tell you how, because I'm going to use this link, Kia, because sometimes on the truancy side of family court, we have parents that say, their kids don't wake up in time because they stay on their devices all night, or they play the Game Boy all night. And I'm like, there you go, Family Link, so you can shut it down. You cut off their internet access, they'll go to sleep, so they can get up.
Oh, so this app allows you to cut off the internet access too?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's golden.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's golden. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't just want to know. You want to be able to do something if they're out there doing something they shouldn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that is great. Well, Judge Brown, I want to thank you for joining us. We didn't even take a commercial break.
I know we didn't, because you was talking the whole time.
I was trying to talk. I didn't think I could talk tonight because
you talked it up.
I took this medication and
you don't even need no tea. I was gonna offer you some green tea.
No, I've been taking some tea. I'm telling you, the hot toddy works. Even though I'm taking this medication, I'm telling you, the hot toddy works. Some bourbon.
That means you got a little bourbon.
Bourbon. And I don't do it before I go to work. I do it after I get home.
Of course.
The bourbon, the lemon, the honey, and the hot water, and then a tea bag of any type of. The old-fashioned Lipton tea bag is the best, and it gets you. It gets you right. Do not dispel the old-fashioned remedies.
Your kid said it shuts the whole phone down.
Yeah, it shuts the whole phone down.
Shuts the whole phone down.
Yeah.
They sound like the app.
Yeah, that is.
Shut it down.
Yeah, just shut it down. And they'll call you. You know, DJ Ice, that reminds me of the show we talked about when we talked about, what was this, the very first show in January? Net neutrality. We talked about how, when net neutrality kicks in. The reason it hasn't kicked in, by the way, for all those who follow the net neutrality show is because there's a lawsuit pending.
Right.
But the net neutrality would, it's bad. You won't need the app to shut the internet down, because if you ain't paying top dollar for the internet,
It's gonna be so slow.
it's gonna be so slow.
Right.
The kids go. It's gonna be like the dial-up days. You remember the dial-up days?
No, it's gonna be like your iPhone when they come out with a new version. The old.
Oh yeah, they just came out with one yesterday.
I know it.
Anyway.
They pimping you. Apple pimping you.
This has been Conscious Fever. I am your host, Karl Price, and just stopping by was Judge Denise Brown of the Jefferson Circuit Court Family Division. She's in Family Division. Well, thank you for coming and chatting with me, because sometimes, I know it seems like I talked a lot, but sometimes when I'm here by myself, it's hard to just talk. I mean, I got all these cameras looking at me.
Oh Lord, yeah, he do have a lot of cameras here, y'all.
And
about 5 cameras looking at us.
And not only the cameras, but
from
then
many different angles.
Right, and then there's a guy that looks just like me, with glasses on like me, with colors like shirts on like me, and they're staring at me. So I have to try to talk to this guy the whole time.
Where's Kiki? Where's the song? Every
I'm
time you
waiting
come
on
on,
y'all.
see, you have your guests and you ask them what song they want to hear. You didn't even ask me.
Oh, well, because you were just stopping by. But what song did you want to hear?
Kiki.
Kiki who?
Is that the name of the song?
You talking about the Drake song?
Yeah, is that the name of it?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
She wanted her In My Feelings.
Oh, In My Feelings.
Oh, is that what the name of it is?
All right, so we're going to end the show with In My Feelings.
I thought it was Kiki.
From Drake. But anyway, this has been 90s. You've been listening to 97 The Beat FM and 97thebeatfm.com. This has been, I'm Karl Price, your host of Conscious Fever. You're listening to us on 97 The Beat FM, and we want to thank you for joining us. And okay, yeah, shout out to all the Deltas. Oh, and by the way, 2 things before I walk out. Let me just tell you that as we listen to Drake in the background, let me just tell you this. Good night, Frida. Let me just tell you, and Bowling Green, tell Bowling Green I said, I think you were the one in Bowling Green. But anyway, this is what we'll do. Kentucky State University and Morehouse College are going to be playing, I think, next weekend. If you're not doing anything that weekend. No, I think they're playing in Frankfurt.
Oh, in Frankfurt.
In Frankfurt, yeah, K-State. And it's going to be some good times. I'm thinking about taking my, I don't know. I don't know. Morehouse is a lot smarter. But
it's football, though, right?
It's football, but so I don't know. I think it's going to be a good game.
Okay.
2 classic college HBCUs. You know, when we had lunch down in 4th Street Live, the Simmons College Band was playing on 4th Street Live. Yeah. And they were, the drum majors. It was pretty good. If you all don't know the history of Simmons College and the HBCU history behind Simmons, you all need to look that up. Right here in Louisville, HBCU. The other thing, as I close off, as I often say, if you're not doing anything Sunday, join us at Oak Grove Missionary Baptist Church on the corner of 41st and Vermont Avenue, deep in West Louisville, where we get to have the pleasure of listening to our esteemed pastor, the one and only Alice French Johnson, the senior pastor at Oak Grove Missionary Baptist Church. So Judge Brown, thank you again.
Thank you.
And we'll do this again.
I want to remind people to register to vote.
Oh, definitely vote.
So if you haven't already registered or haven't checked to make sure you're still registered, because they had that lawsuit where they're trying to purge some voters.
Right.
And I just think people should recheck it.
Yes.
And then also, if you find people that are not registered, get you some cards, carry them with you.
Right.
Get people registered. I think October 9th is the deadline.
Yeah, and this is so important. This is why this is important, because you just said it's October the 9th, but I would tell you 2 days before October the 9th is when you'll hear that deadline, right, on the media.
Yeah.
And so we need to say it so early in advance, because if we don't say it, then it's going to creep up on you. But you need to give, the absenteeism, all of those deadlines. because we, as Judge Holton was saying, we have to make some, I know this is politics, but I'm just saying, but we have to make some changes in this country. Otherwise, I'm not sure if we can handle the next 2 years. You know, this guy that may be confirmed as the next Supreme Court justice, and
Christina.
I mean, this is dangerous stuff, and I don't know if we can ever recover from this.
If you'll have me come back, then I can talk about voter registration and where people can do that, and send your viewers a link and all of that. So hopefully you'll have some time for us to come back.
I most definitely will. I would tell you, we're looking at October as being the election month. And all of October, we're going to invite candidates on, and it's soon. It's coming up soon. So anyway, peace. Good night. 97 to Beat FM, Conscious Fever. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Karl Price on 97thebeatfm.com.